Start off by saying,
You're good, Andy.
I'm going to hit this continue real quick here. I just wanted to start off by saying, I know, coming out of 2020, we wish we were all out of this phase, with this pandemic. We didn't want to start off like this with having to close practice and all that stuff. We're actually really excited. It's good for the players, for people to be out there, and especially for the media. The accountability actually that holds, and how they got to get ready for practice and how they got to start fast and all that stuff. It's actually a benefit. For reasons that the athletic department and the football program, we decided to, just for the best interest of the student athlete experience, with some of the things going on with COVID right now, we've had to shut everything down in terms of visitors, keeping it all to tier 1, being in and around the players. We've unfortunately had to have also shut it out to alumni, guests, and a big donor event that we had lined up. But the other side of that is we don't plan to keep it that way. And as soon as we can switch it back, guys, we will. We promise that. We enjoy having you guys out there. And so we've just got to work through a few things and stay on the path we're going now in the best interest of the student athletes, so that we can continue to grow and be out on that field having fun and preparing for the season that is ahead. And so, again, this isn't a permanent thing. And as soon as we can make some adjustments, we will do so. With that being said, whoever's got the first question, let's fire away.
Yeah, BJ, Jay, and then Ron.
How's it going, Andy?
Good. What's up, BJ?
Not much. What, I guess 5 practices in, how do you feel so far after 5 practices with where you're at?
When you come out of the wintertime / spring and the spring game, it seems so far away. You go back to the notes and you look at the things that we wanted to continue to grow at. And the number one thing is always the mentality, like we spoke about leading up into the start of fall camp on Tuesday. And where we're at right now, we're excited about the growth in where we're at now compared to leaving the spring game on both sides of the ball, up front and at the line of scrimmage. Now we got a long ways to continue to go. But the offensive line has come along here in the last couple of practices, yesterday, today, and have done a really good job up front with their pad level and how they're coming off the ball. And that's been a huge emphasis on both sides of the ball, is improving our fundamentals, making sure that we're playing with great eye control and using our hands to create leverage and to be able to strike and block. And so we spent a lot of time on that here in the last 5 days, and where we were at today. We have a break tomorrow of no practice, but today was a good session up front at the line of scrimmage. And, obviously I'm sure everyone's going to have questions about the quarterbacks, and those guys, I'll start off by saying it's a challenge every day to go out there and go against the defense and those schemes and what they're doing, but they're both battling. The offense is battling, and they continue to grow. Today was the best day for the offense, and it was exciting to see. And, we want to keep working in that trajectory. If we're having good practices, it should be going back and forth. The offense should make some plays. The defense should make some plays. And, we got to keep competing.
I wanted to ask you about Scaly Gahan. I know we've talked to you about him before, but he was telling us yesterday he woke up one morning in high school and weighed 348 pounds. You think back to the early Scaly Gahan days when you guys were recruiting him and stuff to what you see now with his leaner physique. What kind of transformation has he made the last 4 or 5 years? And how do you see that hopefully this year, the new Scaly Gahan, being a dominant player on the field?
You know what, BJ, Scale, I remember walking out back of outside the field house of his high school and going out to see this nose guard that everyone is talking about his feet, but he was a big guy. He was a big guy now, but his feet, he comes from a basketball family. His mom, basketball, his brother's basketball. So he grew up on the court, even though he was the size he was or grown to be at that point. But he still had really, really good feet. And not only from the standpoint of his ability to move, but the way he was helping his coaches coach that day when we went to watch him practice in the springtime, the way he was leading the players, the way he would get his reps and then get right back to the front of the line and help coach guys before they took the rep. We knew he was a guy that, we wanted here. And the way his body is right now, I mean, he's down, he's 290, 295, somewhere in there. He's cut up, he's chiseled, looks a lot different. And it's a testament to him and his dedication to developing his body. And what comes with that is his movements, his flexibility. And that's what you see on the field that I think people will see differently this year than last.
And final one for me, Andy, just with going back to like having to have guys wear masks inside and all the protocols you talked about that you've implemented, how have you seen the players react to that and deal with that and have to do some of the distancing and things like that I'm sure guys were hoping they were going to be past? How have you seen the players deal with that the first week?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, we all initially, the initial response to this for everybody has been like, all right, here we go again. But we be brutally honest, and yes, here we go again. How are we going to handle it this time? We've been through this. We got two choices. If the hardest thing we have to do right now, is mask up everybody, whether you're vaccinated or not, to improve the situation that is going on, not only, in Boise, period, and around the country and in the U.S., if we want to be able to grow and thrive and get ourselves ready to play a season. And the hardest thing we have to do is pull up a mask. It's uncomfortable at times. It's annoying when we're in the building, but at least we get to be in the building. And the players said that's what we want. And so they've been, to be honest with you, this time around, way better at it. They got their jokes and they'll make fun of the mask and all that stuff, but that kind of it's good because it makes it kind of it makes it fun, keeps it a little lighthearted. But they've been awesome about it, to be honest with you, BJ. It was a lot harder the first time around in the wintertime and the spring, trying to create that within the environment and just get used to it. And love them for that. Love them for that. They're doing it because they want to be here every day.
Thank you.
Hey, Andy, how's it going?
Jay, what's up, brother?
Hey, when it comes to what, kind of that limited access right now, you say tier one only. I'm just curious, does this include recruits? And if it does, how will that impact recruiting?
Well, that's where we're at right now in this current phase. And it popped up, to be honest with you guys, just as we were getting ready to start. Okay. And I'm not going to go into much more. I can't go into much more than that, but the current situation we were in started actually just as the last time I spoke to you guys, coming out of that and finding out, some situations within campus here and in the department, and where we really needed to tighten up so that we can ensure that we got going in fall camp. We don't hope to stay on this path for a long time, but for right now, it's the most important thing. It is a dead period right now, so we can't recruit anyways. There is no access to anybody. Tier one, there's about 160 people in tier one. That is all people permanent to the day in and day out operation. The video people, the trainers, the strength coaches, and obviously the football coaches and the team, the players. And that's right now for us. When we get inside the gates, inside the fence, to protect the players and to be able to come here every day and continue to learn and grow, that's the way, it has to be right now.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, you do have like a limited time where you really do have these guys. Eventually they're going to go back to class and stuff like that. So is this more of a thing where just like fall camp, while you still know that you got them for the most part, and as you install new offense and new defensive terminology schemes, whatever it might be, is that kind of the point behind it too? Just like doing this while you can control it?
We'll have to do this as long as the situation calls for us to do this.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. In terms of limiting access to practice, you're asking about, Jay, or
I get just the tier one portion of it, I guess, because there's, eventually they're going to have to interact with the student the general student population. Eventually they're going to have to travel down to Florida, and eventually they're going to be in stadiums with 30, 40,000 people.
Yeah, there's no question. I think there's more that goes into the current situation besides just interacting with the general public, which includes the students on campus, that we've got to improve and that we got to grow out of. And as soon as here in a couple of weeks, when we can ensure that we're out of that phase, then yeah, they're going to interact. In 2 weeks, everyone's coming on campus. And from what we've seen, is kind of a window for what's what could happen on campus if we don't handle the mask protocols. The NCAA came out last week or earlier this week and with their mandates for mask. And from what we've seen and noticed here as we've started into camp, well, you're at practice today. We're outside for right now, even outside, we're masked up. Do we want to continue that on for the rest of the season? We hope not to. We hope not to either. But if you understand what I'm saying, in the current situation right now, it's best for us so that we can ensure that we can continue to stay on the progress we're on right now and being able to practice.
Yeah. One more, Andy, for now at least. Seems like Riley Wimpy's been a guy that almost connects to your playing days. He's been on campus for so long, but he says that he feels like the team is moving as good as he can remember. And I feel like that's something, when he says that, he's been here for a lot. He's seen a lot. What have you seen in terms of the way the team is moving right now?
Yeah, their conditioning and their ability to sustain their movements, the efficiency of their movements, and the high speed running at the level they are right now is we're pretty fired up. We've been working since Wednesday, and so tomorrow will be their first day off from practice. And we just got off the practice field. We had mixed downs and some third down situations today, and they flew around up front. Pass rush, O-line moved well, D-line up front. The battles we had were awesome. The wide receiver DB battles, great. And here we are on Sunday, and we've gone straight through since Wednesday. And so that was exciting to see. The physicality, we're getting there. We're growing. We're not, obviously we're 5 days in. We're not where we want to be. We got a long ways to go there. But the physicality today that they came with on a Sunday morning, it was good.
Andy, thank you.
Yeah.
Coach, how's it going?
Ron and then John.
How you doing, Ron?
Good, man. So I wanted to ask you about a couple of new additions to the roster.
Yes.
The two quarterbacks, Colton Fitzgerald and Colt Fulton. I know, it's late in the process. Fitzgerald was committed to Toledo at one time. How'd you guys discover these kids and get them on campus?
Yeah, there's no question. So this came up, just the way everything is in college football these days. We'd kept the scholarship in our back pocket in the event, and this scenario popped up where we needed another quarterback to make sure that we had enough on the roster and guys that were able to operate through the course of the season, and we can create the depth that we need there. And so we were able to see Colton Fitzgerald, all the way back in June. So it almost feels weird because of the recruiting period and like separating the guys, the way that the calendar works now, the guys that are here that we saw in June and the guys that, are in the next class that we're not allowed to talk about. So if I slow down, that's why I'm making sure that I'm not crossing guys up, because it is a crazy recruiting calendar right now. And just especially with the month of June. But he was able to play a late senior year in California. They played a spring season, 5 games. His team did really well. He blossomed from his junior year to his senior year, and really did a good job. And Coach Plow's got numerous people that he is very close with that has worked with him through the course of his junior year into his senior year, and since his senior year has been over. And so we felt really comfortable about his progress. I would say that coming out of this COVID year, just the way recruiting works anymore, there are not a lot of diamonds out there, diamonds in the rough, because of huddle, internet recruiting, the availability to film, but just the way COVID worked last year and the long layoff, there are guys out there that can play football that nobody knows about and play it really well. And so we're really lucky to be able to have a couple of additions here with Colton and Colt.
So what stands out about those guys on the field?
Say it again.
What stands out about those guys on the field from what you've seen on film?
Well, I will say this. I think they're talented in their own right, a couple different ways. They both have some arm talent. They definitely both have some arm talent, and they're young and they're jumping into a system late. That's the thing though, Ron, to be a college or a high school quarterback jumping into a college system, very late in the summertime, it's been a challenge for them. But from what we've seen off their high school film, the mobility, the ability, especially from Colt, to extend and move around, and he's a taller, longer guy. And then with Colton, Fitz, we'll refer to him as Fitz so we don't get him mixed up. Fitz has got one of the strongest arms now that we've seen in a long time. Him and Taylon, they got some pretty strong arms now.
And mentioning Taylon, you talked about how tough it is for a young quarterback to adjust to these schemes. Where is Taylon in the playbook, and how confident are you if you have to put him on the field this year?
Yeah, no, well, we're only in practice number 5, so we can answer that question a little bit later. But to his progress, basically, where is he at with his progress and what he's doing? He got a ton of reps today. And he is improving. And it's to the point where it's noticeable that you see guys wanting to help him. The other quarterbacks are doing a great job with him. Let's just be honest. I mean, again, everyone wants to know about Hank and Jack and all that. They work together. They help each other, not only each other, but they're doing a great job with Taylon as well. And so Taylon's coming along. We're really excited, not only about, his potential, but where he's at right now and what he's shown everybody, how quick he can grow.
And I wanted to ask about Will Farrar, the Texas Tech transfer. He's obviously a massive human being, but what else stands out about him on the field?
We're fortunate. He's jumped in there and got a ton of reps here in the start of camp, and it is very obvious that he is going to help us in a lot of ways, and he's a joy to have around. I'll tell you what, now he's a fun guy to have around, happy-go-lucky, and when it's time to get on the field and go, he goes and he plays hard. As we continue to work through this, again, he joined the team later in the summertime. Okay. And so as we continue to work, he's only going to get in better and better shape, but he's been a tremendous addition to the offensive line.
Is he going to play guard or tackle for you?
The thing about it is, to be honest with you, Ron, he can play them all. So right now he's playing some guard for us. And that's where we want to keep him there for now and then be able to expand off of that from there. But that's the pleasant part about it as well, is that he's a swing man now, and he has the knowledge and the ability to retain information and play those positions.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
John, you have something?
Yeah, thanks, Coach. You said the offense played well today. I think you said it was the best day they had. How much of that reason is just learning the playbook further and further and installing more? Do they feel more comfortable?
Without a question. You know what it is, John, too? The defense has got to handle more now. So there's more adjustments that they've got to handle, and being a defensive guy, it's easier for the defense as we come in. Take no credit away from the defense. What they're doing right now and how they're playing we're very, very excited about it. But it's the first couple practices of fall camp, when it's just DNA plays, the defense should be ahead. That's the way it is. As we work into this, and the more the defense has to respond to the different things that the offense is putting in, the offense it'll start to pick up and it'll start to roll. And today, the offense caught in rhythm and did a really, really nice job, in particular, third and mediums, and being able to run the ball in our team run period. And that was really good to see. The running backs had some really good cuts, and we're getting vertical and running behind their pads. And so that was really good to see.
Is it nice? Is it fun rooting for the offense for once?
It's awesome. I enjoy going on the other side of the fence. I was just talking to Jeremiah Dickey after practice. He's like, "How is it?" I said, "To be honest with you, it's fun. It's awesome to be able to go to the other side of the fence. I'm on scout team for the offense too, and in the install periods and in the teach periods when the offense is walking through stuff, I'm on scout team, and I enjoy every second of it, being the outside linebacker, the inside linebacker, and being able to try to give those guys the best looks possible to get them ready for the team periods."
In the quarterback competition, you just said it's been 5 practices. Is that enough, in your opinion, in a competition like this for someone to break away and really make it theirs to lose at this point?
No, John, you know what? It isn't, and especially we were, and in fairness to you guys too, we were a little limited in the first 2 practices in the activities. Okay. You guys haven't been able to be out there. We were a little limited in the activities we can actually do. in terms of going against each other. And so, no, it hasn't been. And we set the standard. We set the standard on how we're going to communicate and talk about and whether we're going to discuss players that are available or not available. But you guys were out there today too. And you guys saw that Jack was a little limited. And so I'm going to say that today, but Jack will be back soon. But Jack has been practicing. I don't want you guys to think that he hasn't. Jack has been practicing. Something came up in yesterday's practice that we feel like he'll be ready to roll after our day off tomorrow. And that's all I'll say on that. And again, in fairness to you guys, not being able to be out there last couple of days. But both those guys in the first couple of days of camp, they've grown from the springtime. How they operate the offense is way different, way different. How they're able to communicate and handle the pre-snap. They got a new role of handling and setting protections and working through that, which is awesome for them because it requires them to learn and know more about fronts and being able to see where pressures are coming from and deal those cards before the ball snapped. And they're doing a much better job. It's really cool to see.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Yeah.
Got Will and then Steve.
Hey, Andy, how we doing?
Good. Happy Sunday. It's been an awesome Sunday so far.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. For you personally, what's been the best part of having fall camp?
Seeing their energy. Like, I'm nervous. Like, we're going to show up to practice next time, and it ain't going to be anywhere where it's been the first 5 days because it's been through the roof. And again, today, Sunday, the fifth day into it, they could have came out there sleepy-eyed and going through the motions to start, and there was not one bit of that. And it's attributed to the coaches and the way they're motivating them, taking care of them, the way the training staff and the strength staff are taking care of their bodies. That's been the fun part because their energy's been high, so it's been fun to be out there running around with them and competing.
You look at your running back position. We were talking with George yesterday. In your eyes, how deep is that position group?
Yeah, it is. It is. And there are guys in that position that they do the little things really well right now. And from how they operate and move with the different movements in the pre-snap that they're responsible for, the pre-snap adjustments for them, to how they finish run plays, how they finish when they catch the ball out of the backfield, they practice with a purpose. And that's really cool to see now. There's a lot of them that can play. So what comes with that, Will, that's our best friend is competition. That's what it requires of them. To be able to go out there every day and make the most of the reps that they get, they got to compete. And those fine details, they've got to be on point with, because if they're not, someone else will.
Last one for me is the annual fall camp question. Who's a young pup that's caught your attention?
A young pup. Well, I would say that if I had to pick one right now, okay, there's a few of them. That's why it's hard. And they're in the safety room. There's a few different guys in the safety room. Now they got two guys in front of them with Ty Jones and JL, and obviously Kala's in that room too. But some of these young guys that the older guys, and obviously Coach Ione and Coach Johnson are doing a really good job with, guys even like Tubner. Tubner's done a hell of a job now, and JC Clark and Shea Oladipo coming in here as a mid-year. His body's different, the way he's moving. Obviously, coming in here when he was supposed to be in high school in the wintertime, he knows the defense obviously a little better now, and so it's fun to see those guys. Ben Dooley is going to be really good on the offense side of the ball. Ben Dooley, if I'll tell you what right now, and this goes to him, we speak about this all the time. If it is important to him, the details of this game and the habits of this game and what it means to create the confidence to play with a certain mentality, he will be a good player. And so we got to keep working on that, with him as a young guy. Wide receiver wise, Cobbs is having a really, really good camp thus far. So we can sit here all day and talk about them because we have a lot of young guys that have shown tremendous improvement.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah.
Steve, you've got something?
Yeah, Coach Avalos, Steve Dent with Idaho News 6. Wanted to ask you about the quarterbacks. Just it's a fun one for us to kind of follow and cover. But I'm wondering for you, what's it like having two guys that have shown that they can play?
You know what? It's cool because they work together. You know, they're obviously in a competition. They're competing, but they work together. They help each other. They talk. One will be in there running the team session and something will happen in the middle of it. And he'll turn around and say something they'll help each other in the middle, and then boom, it's on to the next play. It's pretty cool. And that's the thing for me. And usually I'm in the backfield over there too, and I can see and hear the operation and, just to know that guys are competing and how much it means to them, but also how they take care of each other. And to be able to have two guys that have experience, and to see them grow in a leadership manner where it's more than just them leading themselves every day, by what they say, by what they do, how they take care of people. That's been the cool part too, to see them be able to grow that way.
Thanks, Coach.
Looks like one of them's hopping on here right now.
Yeah, Adam, I got time for one question from you for Andy, if you've got something.
Awesome. How's it going, Coach? I'm the new Boise State student sports reporter. I had a question about Jack and Hank. You were kind of answered this a little bit earlier, but how would you describe the bond between Jack and Hank this year?
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. I don't know what people would think or expect to see in a situation like this, but it's probably not what people would hope for in terms of the entertainment of, guys just whatever, acting towards each other in a certain way. Like, these guys are awesome. They're walking down the hallway, laughing and joking together. On the field, they help each other. And it's just fun to see. And so we've got a lot of practice left. We've got a lot of camp. We've got a lot of growing to do. They'll both continue to put their best foot forward every day and compete, but also, work to grow that relationship too, because that's a huge part. They're both big leaders on this team, and we need them to be that.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time. We'll get Hank going.
Yep, we appreciate you guys too. And as we move forward in camp, the more opportunities too that we can be in the stadium. It's obviously better to be on the grass for the players and their bodies, but the more opportunities we can be in the stadium, we will let you guys know so that, we can have you guys out. And again, I appreciate you guys being understanding of this current situation we're in to make sure that we can provide the best opportunity for the student athletes and the staff to be able to grow forward. So I appreciate you guys, and happy Sunday. Take it away, Hank.
Thanks, Coach.
See you, Coach.
Hank, you hearing us all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, we'll go, looks like Will, Steve, and then BJ.
Craig, did you say me?
I did. I'm making a spot.
No, I thought you said Bill or someone. My bad. Hank, how we doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. How have the first few days of camp gone?
It's been good. Get a day off tomorrow. Well, we got meetings tomorrow, so no practice tomorrow. It'd be nice. Been going consecutively here lately, and it's been really good for us. I think, speaking from an offensive perspective, I think the defense has been pushing us really well, and I think we're starting to click on offense. So it's nice.
You've grown most since the spring.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Where do you feel like you've grown most since the spring?
Just getting more comfortable with the offense and understanding the scheme and everyone's assignment and operating. And I think for me, when you understand what everyone else is doing, it allows you to process information faster and make quicker decisions and be able to get the ball out of your hands faster.
For you personally, what's the best part of fall camp?
I think just yesterday, we we did this thing called Bronco Olympics, and I think it's great team bonding, and I had a lot of fun with it yesterday.
Can I follow up? What did you guys do yesterday?
We just kind of do some team skits. It's kind of in-house, keep it confidential, but it's pretty fun.
Thanks, Hank.
Thank you.
Hey, Hank, Steve Dent, Idaho News 6. I saw you guys out there. It seemed like you guys had a lot of energy today out there on the blue. What's it like being back on the field with your teammates? We talk about the COVID all the time, but bottom line is you're out there and you're playing football.
Yeah, no, I understand, kind of what it probably looks like from the outside, but I think, our ability to adjust, we've been practicing every single day. So I think for us, it's just been football, this past week. And I'm so excited just for, hopefully a regular season coming soon with some fans, and excited for that first game.
Yeah. And what was it like for you guys, to kind of transition through this whole thing? You have done it before, right? That probably helps.
What was that?
You've done it before with the COVID protocols and everything.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that probably helps out.
I think last year prepared us for what, or at least what to expect, or, what can happen. And I think just with the protocols that we have in place and going through it last year, I think obviously just helps. But at the end of the day, it's just 11 on 11 football, and that's what it is. If that's what it has to be. And we're excited. We're excited to just get on field.
Thanks, Hank.
Thank you.
Hey, Hank, thanks for doing this, man. We talked to Andy, and he said maybe the first 2 days you guys were a little limited in terms of what you could do. And so he said there's obviously no leader yet in the battle. But how do you look at, you and Jack battling, and it's obviously one of the biggest storylines in camp. How do you look at that from your perspective on putting your best foot forward?
Really quick, I like the hat right there.
Thank you.
That looks good.
Fall camp tradition.
Yeah. No, for us, I think, it's been a few days for practice. I think, whatever happens. I think we're all just trying to push each other, including Taylon Green. He's looking really, really good as well. And Coach Blau, we're alternating reps every day as far as who's going with the ones, and everyone's going to get their opportunity, I think. And just for us to push each other, I think is awesome. And as long as someone's operating and executing the offense, I think, it's the best for Boise State. So
where do you feel in terms of the grasp of the offense, in terms of, I know spring was a lot of install learning and stuff. Where are you guys at now in terms of, are you able to kind of more just go play, and how much more do you feel comfortable in the offense now compared to the spring?
Yeah, a little bit more. I feel confident. I feel confident Coach Blau in this offense. But at the same time, it's humbling. Like, I think the offense had a spectacular day today, just going against our defense. But yesterday, they got after us. So it's awesome just going against such a well-coached defense with some guys and some dudes on that side of the ball. So for us, sometimes they're going to get us, and it's our ability to respond. And I think for us, it's just great that we're able to push each other.
And final one for me, man. I know there's a lot of, obviously, what you got in Shaq and CT, but that battle for that third, fourth, fifth, receivers that you guys are going to need. I know it's early in camps, maybe you can include the summer, but who's stepped up? Who do you like there in terms of that battle to get some playing time behind your top two?
I've been talking about this guy for a while, and I just have a great feeling about this year for him. I've said it in the past, but I think Stephon Cobbs, I think he's that guy. This year, I think he's explosive. He's dynamic with the ball. He's such a vertical threat. He's going to be really good.
Thanks, Hank.
Thank you.
So Ron, John, and then Adam.
Hey, Hank, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good, man. So this is the third year that you've had to compete to win the starting job in fall camp. What do you feel like you've learned about yourself in those experiences?
You just got to detach from the outcome and just focus on that process. I think just my freshman year, I think I got so emotional about, one day or another day, whether that was very high or very low, and it's going to happen, It's happened to me, already in this camp. And I think that ability to just kind of focus on the objective or to be objective and just focus on that process of understanding, okay, what's my plan on this play? What do I need to do? Or if I do make a mistake, if I throw an interception or I make the wrong read, learn from it, grow from it, and attack it the next day or the next rep, whatever that may be. And, it's tough. I'm still working on it. But I just think mentally, I think I've grown in that area. So
I know you and Jack are friends on and off the field, but whether it's you and Jack or you and Chase Cord, when you get to fall camp and you're fighting for a job, does the dynamic change at all?
I don't think so. I've done this, the last few years, and I've known Jack since I was in 8th grade, so that relationship's pretty cool. Chase is another guy. He's one of my best friends, and Jack's another guy that I've relied on just for advice since I was young. So
obviously there's a lot of newcomers on this roster this year. Cyrus Abibi-Likio, they just added the big offensive lineman Will Farrar from Texas Tech, who's massive. I mean, out of some of those newcomers, who's the guy you think is going to have the biggest impact this season?
Man, those two guys right there look really good right now. Cyrus looks really good. He looks explosive. He looks very shifty. I'm excited to see what he can do. And then, Will looks pretty good. He gets in there. He's a big dude, and he's physical.
And I wanted to ask you about your relationship with Jared Zabranski. I was kind of cyber stalking you a couple of weeks ago and saw you posted what looked like a picture of you several years ago with Jared. How long have you known him, and what's your bond like?
Yeah, as far as a picture, I'm not too sure which picture that was. I did recently just work at camp with him. Okay. And that was really the first time I really got to talk to him. I think I met him a couple of times, like a hey, hello. But to really spend a day or two with him was awesome, and just pick his brain. And obviously he's a legend here. But it was exciting just to meet him and talk to him, get to know him, and just get inside his head a little bit and pick his brain. It was an honor.
So maybe that wasn't a picture of you. It kind of looked like you, but it was something you put on your story. But I was curious, in your interactions with him, what have you learned? I mean, he's a pretty jacked dude from a quarterback. Has he given you any tips on lifting weights?
He does a lot of curls actually. He just the mindset of a quarterback and the leadership qualities that it requires, and they've done it before, and I want to be that guy to do it again. So, just picking his brain as much as I can.
Thanks, man. Good luck this fall.
Thank you.
I'm sure he told you no barbed wire tattoos, Hank.
Yeah, no, I think he might. Did he cover? It looked like he might cover.
Yeah. That was just a joke. Hey, we're back on Zoom. I didn't think anybody thought we'd be here again, but what do you think of Zoom interviews, and have you perfected, dialing them all up and everything at this point?
I like the in-person, communication and this technology and stuff. Like, it's cool that we're able to do it. I do it with my grandma and stuff, FaceTime. It's awesome to see her in a way, but it stinks, but it is what it is. And if it's going to help us play football, then, I'll do it, but I would love to be in person with you guys.
Yeah. Hey, talking with Andy, he describes Jack Sears as an old soul. Would you describe Jack Sears that way? And if so, why?
I think he is the old soul of the quarterback room. I don't know. He knows movies. I don't know. He golfs way more than I do. He's good at golf. He's a very mature guy. Cade was a guy that, was a little loosey-goosey kind of guy. I'd say I'm kind of towards that side of the spectrum. Taylon's getting a little bit more finally getting him loosened up. Andy Peters is a guy. So those are guys I think that are for the, compared to him, are on this side of the spectrum. He's been down this road a little longer than us. So I think it's good to have those different type of qualities in the room. So
what have you taken about his old soul approach that you could maybe use to benefit your loosey-goosey approach at times?
Yeah, no. And I think, I have a cool relationship with Brett. And he just got put up on the wall in the quarterback room. So that was cool. So I was actually texting him yesterday, but I hadn't talked to him in a while. But, I think Brett was another guy that came in every single day and was all business. And, I think for me, and as I've gotten older here and grown here, I think for me, it's when to turn it on and when to turn it off. And, I think it's one thing I do love to do myself is just kind of keep it a little looser. I don't like to be too tight on the field. You work and you prepare all week to go have fun out on that field. And, for me, I think it's the capabilities of when to turn it on and turn it off.
You don't mind, not to pry. I mean, a lot of us go way back with Brett too. How often do you talk with Brett, and what did you glean from those texts that you sent or whatever?
Yeah, no, Brett. We just talk about footwork and system, and plow actually comes from Brett's first OC in Denver, Scangarello. I think plow kind of stems from him. So we were just kind of talking about the similarities maybe in personality with him and his prior OC at Denver. And when it at the first kind of the coaching change happened, we had talked about that a little bit, and just some quarterback mechanic stuff and kind of what he does to prepare and watch film and how it is in the league. And I think it's pretty cool. I didn't play with him, but to have that relationship with him and have that camaraderie of, Zabranski and then Brett. And then, I still talk to Jalen and Chase, and it's cool to talk to those guys and pick their brain. And, they give me a little bit of criticism here and there, but it's nice to hear.
I think we joked around about this with you before, and maybe your girlfriend helping you with this. Shaq was saying that, new terminology in a new offense, like that's a challenge. So
yeah.
How do you go about learning the new terminology and then also being able to, effectively, communicate with your teammates and go execute?
Yeah. The old lady, she's retired a little bit now. I haven't asked her in a while, but she did, man. I don't tell her this a lot, but she's pretty cool. She did help me out a lot at that time, and I'm sure if I asked her again, she'd help me out. But I think Plow keeps it pretty simple as far as the verbiage and everything, but it's very complex. And he could be a third grade teacher. I think the way he explains and breaks down the complexity within the offense and the options you have on every single play and the ability to adjust and slide protections. And there's a lot to it. It's like this freaking smartphone right here. It's just a touch screen deal. There's no buttons on it, but it's so complex, the intricacies of it. I would compare the offense to that. And, it's got a really simple user interface. I'd compare our offense to that. And, for me, when I committed here and I signed, I started using poker chips, used my girlfriend, flashcards, whiteboard. I visualize and just kind of go through it in my, dorm with my girlfriend on FaceTime, and I still do some of that stuff. Yeah.
I think I appreciate it, man. Good chatting with you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
John and Adam, to wrap it up.
Hank, how much of the offense would you say has been installed? Is there still a process, obviously, of installation?
I mean, at this particular moment in fall camp, we're kind of re-going through the installs, if that makes sense. We got through it all in spring, and the process of going through the playbook, is different on a daily basis as far as practice. You further advance through playbook as you further advance through fall camp, if that makes sense. For us now, we are doing new installs that we did from the spring. We just haven't hit it, obviously, in a few months. But it's more so just executing and operating it, getting better from the spring and growing.
Is that what you think happened today? You and Coach Avalos said the offense kind of got after the D a little bit. Is that because you think just the mental and now physical repetition with this offense, you guys are kind of getting even with the defense a little bit in terms of what you guys have learned about it so far, type of thing, or executing it?
Yeah. Well, like Jay said, it is a new verbiage and everything. At one point it was, and I think we're finally getting able to, okay, you get this motion, you get this formation, you get, all right, so I get the play, I know the protection. All right, let's go fast. Let's get some tempo. And for us, yeah, like today, it was one of those days where it just clicked, if that makes sense.
Hank, at the tight ends, we saw them working out a little bit, getting after it. I haven't heard you talk about them yet. What about them are impressing you in the role in this new offense? Talk about the tight end position.
Well, yeah, really quick. I think in the run game, the O-line looks phenomenal, even compared to spring. And the Y is attached to that. The H is attached to that. So the tight ends look really good in the run game as well. Riley Smith, Tyneil Hopper are two guys that flashed in my mind. And just thinking about today, I hit them on a couple throws, and they made some great snags and on some money downs, on some third downs. And they did a great job today catching, and they've been doing a great job blocking. So
speaking of money, last for me, working on any new cool NIL deals?
I'm focused on ball right now. If stuff comes up, which it has, and it kind of makes sense for me and my schedule, and it aligns with my beliefs. It's something that I'm interested in doing. But right now, I'm just focused on fall camp, if that makes sense.
I appreciate you, Hank.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Last one from Adam.
How's it going, Hank? This is the new Boise State sports reporter. So I bet it's been stressful this whole off season with like all the talks about the competition with you and Jack and stuff. So I just wondered, was there any mental health toll on all this? And if so, what have you been doing to combat this?
At the end of the day, it's just football. I've had a lot of stuff happen off the field with family, and it's just football. I've had a lot worse things happen than a quarterback competition, So for me, this is an honor to be able to be at a Division I football program, and I've been the starter here the last couple of years, and obviously I hope to do it this year. And whatever happens, but at the end of the day, it's just football for me. So
awesome. How has Jack helped you improve your game over this whole offseason?
Yeah, no, obviously off the field, we help each other. We communicate with each other on what we're seeing and the playbook, and just pick each other's brain. But on the field, I think we push each other to be better. And I think somebody's going to come out of it doing really, really good. And, the other person's got to push that person still. And, it's been like that the last couple of years here with him. So it's been awesome. Like I said, I have a prior relationship with him, and he's been a guy that I ask advice, to, and he's always been respectful to me, and I respect him very much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Hank. Thanks for the time.
All righty. Good?
Yeah, you're good.
All righty. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great rest of your summer.
Thanks, Hank.
All righty. Bye.
Jack, you hearing us all right?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go John, Steve, and Jay on this one. Start us off.
Appreciate your time today, Jack. I guess I'll just start. We watched you today. Coach Avalos said you were limited. What can you tell us about why you were limited, man?
Yeah, year 5, 5th fall camp. Kind of been around a while, and know how long fall camp can be, how tough it can be on your body. And yesterday just pulled up a little minor strain, and out of abundance of caution from both the coaching staff, training staff, and myself, we thought today would be best to be limited. Tomorrow's an off day, and hopefully be back full speed and back competing with the guys, improving and getting ready for UCF.
Coach Avalos said you looked pretty good the last couple of days. Can you tell us here in the media what were you doing well? What's working for you out there so far?
Absolutely. I think all of us have taken tremendous strides this summer, and that's a credit to the time we spent learning the playbook and out in PRPs and individually working on what we needed to after we got our evaluations from spring ball. So I think for the biggest thing for all of us was our footwork, both in the pass game and the run game, and knowing, where to go with the ball, 2, 3, not just our first read.
5 days in, this whole Hank versus Jack, everybody's talking about it. Where do you think you are in this thing 5 days in, Jack?
Right now, it's just Broncos on Broncos, and I think everybody's competing for a job. And we obviously, as quarterbacks, are going to get the spotlight, and we know that comes with the territory. But we're just out there trying to get better ourselves, and we know we're going to make each other better. We're going to push each other and help each other grow wherever we can. And I think that's true throughout our entire program. Even guys that are not guaranteed starting spots, but they're helping younger guys, they're helping freshmen, they're helping transfers. It's awesome to see players here, coaches here be so welcoming and want us to compete and truly get after it.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Steve, are you still here? I don't think he is. All right, we'll go right to Jay then.
What's up, Jack? How we doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Hey, talking with Coach Avalos, Hank, and some other guys too, they describe you as an old soul. How do you feel about that description of you?
It's fitting. You don't ever get to choose your nicknames, but I'll take it.
What is it about you though? Why do you think they describe you that way? I guess.
It's tough because I think Hank has such a endearing personality, and he loves talking to people and telling stories and kind of being around it all. And I like being around it all, but I like to listen and take it in and give my 2 cents when at it. But I just enjoy coming in every day, being with the guys, and just going about my business.
Let me ask you this: if they describe you as an old soul, how would you describe Hank Bachmeier?
Joyful. I think he finds joy in everything that he does, and he loves what he does, and it's contagious to be around. It's definitely made me a little bit more outgoing, a little bit more joyful myself.
What do you and Hank ever just get away, do anything for fun or anything like that?
Well, sometimes it's tough with all the COVID protocols. I want to be very cautious and handle everything the right way, and just want to get up every day and go to our early morning workouts and take care of that. And we're around each other a lot in the facilities and when we can outside.
I was asking Hank about this too, just learning the new terminology of a new offense. How do you go about separating what was and trying to learn what is useful now?
Yeah, I don't think you ever really forget previous terminology. I was talking to Coach Plow about this a couple of days ago, and sometimes we'll give a signal to remind me of a play from my freshman year at SC, or we'll have a term that used to mean something else last year, but now it means it this year. And it's when Coach Paul came in, he did an excellent job explaining to everyone you just got to flush everything you knew before as best you can. And he has a reason behind why everything is done the way it is, and to help us learn it the best we can.
Coach Avalos saying prior to fall camp that every day, basically you and Hank will rotate. One day you go with the ones, he goes with the twos, the next day you flop. How do you like that approach?
Absolutely. It gives us a chance to run with the blues and with the oranges and compete against stellar blue defense and a lot of talent on the orange defense as well. So it just gives us different looks every day and allows us to try new and see where we need to grow and what's happening with those groups.
Finally, for me, I think everybody thinks of a quarterback battle and they think of controversy and competition, but what is the best thing about a quarterback battle when you wake up every day knowing you have to kind of bring it?
It gets the best out of you. You can't be complacent. You can't fall back on I'll get them tomorrow, because you never know what day could be the deciding factor. You never know what practice could be the turning point, and it's fun to show up every day and know we're going to push each other to be the best we can, but it's never going to be, oh, I hope he doesn't do well. You want to succeed because you do well and you win the job. You don't want to succeed because someone else loses it or something happens,
Jack, appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, thank you.
So Ron, Will, BJ.
So, Jack, as you look at this new offense that you're learning under Tim Plow, what stands out about as the strengths of this offense, and is it similar to anything you've run in the past?
I think it's a combination of a lot of offenses, and I think he's done an excellent job condensing it down to what he knows best and what he believes to be successful based on his time as a quarterback and his time coaching. So he's done a great job simplifying it enough for us to learn it this spring, and now he's ramping it up more so we can be even more successful this fall.
You came in last year trying to learn a new offense, and you had to deal with all this COVID stuff. You're still trying to learn a new offense. These COVID protocols are back. How does that make it even more difficult for you to kind of master this offense, or does it?
An offense, at the end of the day, you got to learn the terminology, X's and O's, and why we're doing what we're doing. I think understanding the why is a real main focus of this coaching staff, both offensively and defensively, and that's a large credit to Coach Avalos. He wants players to understand why they're using this technique or these fundamentals and why they're trying to get to this spot and how it impacts the offense as a whole. And
unlike last year, you and Hank are both trying to learn this new offense. Do you feel like that kind of puts you guys on more even footing this year and gives you a better chance to win the job?
Yeah, I came to Boise State because I believe full-heartedly in my abilities and that I can play, and really enjoyed being out there last year, getting an opportunity to showcase that. And this offseason has given us both an opportunity to step back and approach this spring and fall with an open mind and clean slate, and hopefully we go out there and impress a lot of people and put up some good numbers this fall and impress people.
As you look back at last season, you had a great first start against Air Force, and then the next week everything was kind of taken away in that first drive against BYU. As you look back on that, does that kind of motivate you further, kind of light up more of a fire under you this year to kind of go out there and get the job done?
I don't think I ever needed more of a fire lit under me. I think that's kind of been brewing the last few years, and how I felt motivated. But it was just kind of a tough pill to swallow, having so much fun being out there again playing and then getting knocked out so early in the BYU game. And it really just rings true. You never know what can happen in football, and you just got to cherish every game you get, every play you get, and just play as hard as you can.
Thanks, man. Good luck this fall.
Thanks.
Hey, Jack, how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. In terms of development and growing since spring ball, where do you feel like you've made the biggest leap?
Absolutely. I think footwork was a main thing for Coach Plow. It's something different than I've ever done before. So that's just a big repetition, just getting reps in at that on my own and also with guys out in the field. And then the other thing is just getting through the reads, just knowing who's going to be where, why, and just being able to get through that as fast as possible.
Just after talking with Hank, you were talking about Steph Cobbs. Your opinion, what makes Steph so special?
I think it's away from the field as well. He's just a great guy. He has such a unique personality and just finds so much. He loves the game, and that's just obvious in everything he does, from early morning workouts to in the locker room after practice to even off the field. It's just who he is as a person, and when he's on the field, you can't help but want to see a guy that's successful. And he's extremely talented and has great potential, and I think this offense is going to really showcase that.
Look at your running back group. What stands out to you about the depth at that position?
I think it's awesome situation to have, especially with running backs, being able to have so many different threats, and they all have different skill sets, in my opinion. They all do things well, and I think that is going to be a lot of trouble for defenses. And, last year we rotated through quite a few running backs, and, hopefully this year we all stay healthy and we get to showcase all their abilities and they put up big numbers.
One last one for me. What stands out to you about Cyrus?
Cyrus, just a competitive guy, ultra competitive in what he does, and all the field couldn't be a nicer guy. So it's fun to see him transfer over and talk to him about his experiences before BSU and explain to him kind of how special this place is. And he's bought into that, and he knows it, and he's excited to play on the blue.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack, have they said anything about, hey, whoever wins the job, the other guy's going to still have a role in a package? I mean, have they said anything in terms of like if two guys might have a chance to play, or just kind of what the plan is moving forward?
I think the main focus of fall camp is just see who comes out and go from there. I think that's more of a post competition, post fall camp conversation, and something that could easily be implemented because Hank and I both have a excellent grasp of this offense and can go out and operate it.
You mentioned Steph Cobbs. Who else in that battle for the third, fourth, fifth receiver spots? Who are some of the other guys behind Shaq and CT that through the summer or first part of fall camp have impressed you?
Oh man, talking about receivers always gets me in trouble because it's going to leave somebody out. But that room is so deep, and it's a great problem for a quarterback to have, especially with Shaq coming back, CT coming back, Tay's back for another year, another great deep ball threat and big body, and then we got Davis Cutter out here, who's been looking real good. Matt Griffin's been looking real good, and just a whole bunch of guys who are continuing to grow. Freshmen like Cole Wright, Latrell, continue to grow and find their shape, their position in this offense, and their skill set.
Coach Avalos and Hank both, singled out Will, the Texas Tech transfer on the line, 75. I don't know. I know you've got a lot going on and not paying a lot of attention, but I mean, have you noticed? Andy said it's going to be obvious he's going to help. I mean, have you noticed anything from him in the first week of camp?
The first week of camp, I think, been really impressive by the entire offensive line. They've done an excellent job, fixing what we need to get done from the spring. And I think that's true for most of our position groups, but offensive line's been out there handling pressures that us as quarterbacks, could only dream that they'd pick up. So it's been great to see that, and seeing him out there picking up these blitzes and dominating guys on run game. It's been awesome to see him transfer in and just dominate and pick it up as fast as he has.
Andy said the first 2 days you guys might not have been able to do much team-wise. It kind of sounded like because of the COVID protocol stuff or whatever. But how frustrating, I guess, and I know you were asked earlier about it, but just the masks, and I don't know if you have to do stuff differently in the meeting room now and all that. But I know you dealt with it last year and you were hoping you weren't going to have to do it again this year. How frustrating is that, or is it not a big deal to you guys at this point?
I wouldn't use frustrating because I think that carries a negative connotation with it. I think, we're being asked to do something, and it's to protect the team and protect our community. And if we have to wear a mask inside and sit through meetings, it's nothing we haven't done before, and it shouldn't be that big of an issue or thing to ask of us to do. And we're all willing and able to do it, and we've done a great job since that happened.
And I guess final thing, I mean, it's just 5 days in. What's the vibe like? 5 days in, and how do you just feel like overall where the team's at?
It's been competitive and physical, and I think it's only the start. I think guys are gonna start wanting to really show what they can do, and come out and prove who they are and what they're capable of. And it's gonna get a little chippy and it's gonna get a little fun, but at the end of the day, we're all gonna love each other, and we're gonna be a better team because of how hard we push each other this fall.
Thanks, Jack.
Yep.
All right, Adam, wrap it up with you.
Hey, how's it going, Jack? I was just wondering, how has your relationship with Hank grown this offseason?
Hank and I've known Hank since I believe he was a sophomore in high school. We played each other in a game, and we had an opportunity to spend quite a few hours at a QB camp together talking about, his hopes and dreams when he was in high school. And it's been cool to see what he's been able to do since those conversations. Obviously finished out a very successful high school career and has done excellent here at Boise State. So it's been fun to get to know him more as a person than as a football player, and his dreams outside of football, and what he does to kind of get away from it all. And I think we've just grown an appreciation for each other, and what we do well and what we don't do well, and how we can help each other.
Awesome. One last question. What's more important to you, individual quarterback success or like the whole quarterback room as a whole growing?
I think the quarterback room as a whole, because, the entire point of being a quarterback room is we're supposed to be like a little family, a little brotherhood within our team. And, seeing Taylon out there the last couple of days, really starting to get the speed, understand the reads, and letting that thing loose and be successful has been one of the coolest things to see, in my opinion, so far this fall camp. And it's only up from there. He's tremendous potential, but also, for Coach Plow coming in here and believing in us, and we want to go out there and produce the room for him.
Awesome. Thank you.
Jack, appreciate the time, sir. We'll see you down the road.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Jack.
I'll send the Zoom file as soon as I got them ready, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig.
Yep.